Everybody, welcome back. So, gonna throw my hat in the ring here. I move this up a little bit. Sure. Everybody knows He-Man, or I'm sorry, Masters of the Universe, Revelation 1 in Revelations is out. I wanted to weigh in here, give my thoughts about what is happening. So, first off, who cares? um, well, let me preface this by saying I'm probably 90% not going to watch the new show. Who cares? There's a lot of drama out there now. I don't know if criticism, if you will. So let's go over some basic truths. All right. Wanted to present these arguments. I am siding with the people that are not going to watch it. Or, I mean, I feel like if you want something to go away, you ignore it. But some people are watching and reviewing it and hating it. So, first off, stories shape our thoughts. What we see affects our thinking affects our actions. You heard the term monkey see, monkey do. People believe more what you do than what you say. There's inspiration, there's motivation. And let me ask you this, anything that you're really into, did someone force you into it? Anything that you enjoy doing, probably a low chance that someone forced you to get into it. I mean, maybe your parents brought you to soccer and you didn't want to, but then you're really into it. And either way, my point is that whatever you consume affects your thoughts. Your thoughts affect your actions. This is seen in like wartime when back in the World War One and Two, they would show, you know, stories and propaganda of men sacrificing themselves. So that was part of them, so that when the time came, they did it. All right. So that's part one. Part two, there are such things as aspirational heroes, and this term is new for me. I have to thank Professor Geek. But what an aspirational hero is a person that will always do the right thing no matter what. To which people would say, well, that's not realistic. I mean, and you have, I have three examples here: old Superman, young Luke Skywalker, Captain America. You can say they're not realistic, but that's not what they're there for. If I had a realistic personal trainer that was overweight, that would either be a very low bar for me, or I would just not listen to that person. So yes, these people are fake. You could argue that like religion is getting pushed out these days, so there's not that example that people have in front of them at all times. So these heroes help you strive to be a better person. And these are the annoyingly successful people that once they accomplish one goal, they want to do something else, or are people that kind of bring themselves up no matter how bad things they get or how bad things get. I'm going to think about, you know, Luke Skywalker, somebody to inspire me to keep going, right? All right. Now, recent trend in media, I use the three examples, not so much in Captain America. I've heard some bad things in the comics, though, is doing away with the aspirational hero. So I've read these comments like, well, it's a never meet your hero moment with Luke Skywalker, for example, or they're being pessimistic or they're doubting whether or not they're doing the right thing or what is the right thing. Why? I don't know. I guess we're making you could you could say that we're making our targets easier for more people to relate to, but no one, this is not an original quote, but no one ever rose to lowered expectations. Something to do with adding new characters. We'll get to that in a second. Or, like I said, bringing our heroes down to a more realistic standard. Um, like I said, this is not good because it's too easy of a target. And in turn, the heroes that they are getting replaced with, it's almost like a caricature about how good they are. It's like someone loaded up a game, turned on all the cheat codes, and said, "Go ahead." You don't really see it's out there, but like the hero's journey is going away. If you want to pick a good example, you could say Rey Palpatine, not Skywalker. By the time we got through episode 8, she was overpowered. I was at the end of that, regardless of the action, I was bored because she had beaten Kylo Ren 2 movies in a row. Snoke was dead, not by her hand, but if you look at episode 5 and 4, it's like Luke. I mean, he blew up the Death Star, but he got beat up by the Tusken Raiders. He got his hand chopped off by Vader and had to train. And then at episode 9, they try to rush everything with Rey, but up until that point, she was just boringly too good at everything. She could fly a ship, she could repair the Falcon, she could wield a lightsaber, she could fight a trained killer. I don't know. You're replacing people that had to I know they're fake, but they had to overcome with people that are already good. Moving on. All right. Masters of the Universe. I'm going to start watching the old one. Slowly but surely, bits and pieces. Why? A few reasons. One, to get a look into the aspirational nature of He-Man. I'll tell you this now. By the time I was a tiny dork, this show came on and finished because it was only 2 seasons before I was even born. I vaguely remember the toys, and I had a general sense of what He-Man was about. I have the power. You become this huge hulking man. So I've never seen it. I also want to get an idea of, because when people are watching the new one, they're getting upset, and they're not just hating on it. They either had expectations or they have this image in their head of who their heroes were, and then they see them, spoilers here, either taken out of the equation or killed off. I can relate this to Luke Skywalker because he had Luke, who in the movies, before we watched the sequels, the last thing he did was he beat his father in combat, but he threw his lightsaber at the feet of the Emperor, saying, "I will never strike my father down." So he knew he was going to get zapped, but he would rather, die than turn to the dark side. To just knowing that there's some glimpse of goodness in his father. We go from that to, no, I'm not gonna fight because he killed my students. I don't know. That I was very confused watching that movie, and it was very disappointing. And then you could say self-sacrificed, but it was just weak at the end. And then in episode 9, they try to rush everything. I also added a note here that eventually I want to watch the old Superman. I have never seen it. Only, sadly, the most recent Superman in my head is the Henry Cavill one, which I didn't pick up on this, but he was kind of broody in Man of Steel, and then every movie after that just went downhill anyway. So yeah, I mean, if you're one of the people complaining about this, support the old because it's already out there. It's not like you don't need new renditions of things. It's like Star Wars. Like just watch the first three, watch the first six. I hope I hope in another, how long was it? 12 years we don't get more in a Star Wars trilogy revolving the Skywalkers because they're all gone now. All gone. Rey doesn't count. So yeah, I'll be going through this. I've already seen a couple episodes. It's cheesy, but whatever. You just see He-Man, that pure example of basic good. And then at the end, they have those little like PSAs, like don't talk to strangers and believe in yourself, things like that. So, I'm a father. I want there to be media out there for my child, maybe children, to, see a character and be like, yeah, this is fake, but the idea is the same that I can apply to real life. All right, now, facing the arguments. Argument number one. And I've seen this thrown at Marvel, Star Wars. One is, hey, it's a kid's show. Okay. The target demographic does not absolve a subject matter from, I put criticism or quality. It still has to be good. If you're an adult and the story, regardless of how childlike it is, if it doesn't make sense, or like in this case, if it kind of destroys the legacy, you can speak out and criticize it. You can do whatever you want. So it's the First Amendment. Then secondly, if it's a kid show, you have to be careful with the subject matter. It's you're training the next generation of human beings. You would hope that the thoughts in their head are good because of the media that you're showing them. If I showed a kid the news all day, every day, he'd probably be pretty sad. Another thing, a lot of media is intended for all ages and demographics. The Hobbit is a children's book. It's not a light read, but it's meant for children. And plenty of adults out there enjoy reading it. I can watch whatever I want, and I can say it's bad, and that's my decision. So if you're applying this logic here, if you look at the new He-Man, you're like, well, this makes no sense. If your argument is like, well, it's for kids, well, it still doesn't make any sense. I don't care what age it's for. I don't like it. And think about the audience here. It's He-Man, a series from almost 40 years ago. Who do you think they're marketing it to? The adults, right? And then if those adults have children, if they're, I can relate to myself here. I don't know what I'm gonna think when my kids want to watch the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Either way, in this case, like if you're an adult, you could say, well, I want to watch the show. You could say, it's not that great. Or you could just show them the old He-Man. Also, I said, if you're defending this show with that argument, are you watching it too? So are you a child? And I don't have to just shut my brain off and enjoy it. That's for movies like Fast and the Furious, and that's the only one I could think. Transformers. Another argument here. I haven't seen it yet. Based on things I've heard, I'm not planning on it. If they've taken the little I knew about He-Man and done this to him, I'm not going to give it, I'm giving it attention here, but I'm not going to give it a view to review it or anything. So, I mean, I wrote this here. I haven't bashed it at all. I haven't given any details. I just kind of gave a general sense of what happens, and that also applies to other shows and movies as of late. And I just don't understand this trend. It's catering to a bigger audience at the risk of giving them, like I've said, lowered expectations. If I had a bunch of soldiers and I said, "Well, guys, I know a lot of you aren't good at push-ups. Let's just have the test be 5. Can you do 5 push-ups?" I know that's a weak combat example, but you see where I'm getting at here. No one ever rose to lowered expectations. Also, I put this in here. I don't have to eat a rotten burger to know it's bad. I can just smell it. I can see other people vomiting from it, and I'm just gonna think, I don't think I'm gonna eat that. I'm good. I'm gonna be good with the old versions. So, just want to get that out there. Throw my hat in the ring. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Subscribe, please.